Hi and welcome to Paystub Direct. We're making this video to help people try and make their own pay stubs. We of course do it for you. We do it actually I think very cheap. We are probably the cheapest online, but some people still are cost conscious or weary. So I do want to show you how to make one. I'm going to try and make it as quick as possible. This is going to be about a 10 or 15 minute video. And I think I'll make a 4-part series to delve deeper if you do really want to take the time and make your own pay stub. In practice, it's quite easy, but or in theory, it's quite easy, but in practice, the details are the things that kill you. So first of all, what is a pay stub? And basically, a pay stub is just something that shows your pay detailed per pay period. So if you, for example, get paid every week or 2 weeks or month, it shows the time you worked and your pay rate, and then all your deductions written on there. It's basically just a receipt. And so you can make a real simple one, which we're going to show you now, and then I'm going to show you how to do it on our site as comparison to make it look professional. So what you can do is use Microsoft Excel, or if you don't want to pay for that, you can just do Google Docs. So you go Docs, Google, like that, and do a search. There you go. And you actually, what you want to do, actually not even Docs, I said that wrong. It's actually in Sheets. Basically, that's a spreadsheet. And you can create a new one here, do a blank, and you just create a pay slip. So you call this it's called a pay stub with a title, and you put in how many hours you worked. So let's say you worked 40 hours, 40 hours, and you get paid $25 an hour. And what is your pay? So here's where it kind of starts having a problem, right? So if you knew to use Excel, you would simply go equals, and then you multiply this, multiply, as you can see, it's the C6 multiplied by this number here, D6. So times D6, or you can just click on it, would be fine. It breaks. Well, why is that? Well, number one is because you put in hours and it's a text, so it needs to know it's a number. So if I remove that, then it shows you, okay, well, there's your 1,000. So 40 times 25, well, did that mean you worked 25 hours or 40 hours or 25 hours at $40 pay, vice versa? So you have to put labels, of course. So you put in a, say, call this hours, and you call this rate, okay? And so then this is your total. To make it pretty, I would make this bolder and larger. I would call this maybe 12, and you can center that. There you go, and also center these, make that nicer, pretty, and make them bold as well. And here's your rates. Maybe also enter so that we can kind of keep it clean. So this is going to be for only one pay period. Remember that. So this is how much you made. You made 1,000, and then we also want to put in total hours rate. See, called dollars, dollars like that, and then total and dollars, just to kind of show that. Okay, now so this is your income, right? So we're going to call this income, or pay rate, pay. And now you have your withholdings. Withholdings. Okay. So now your withholdings are going to be your taxes. Well, to do taxes, you have to figure out, number one, which state. So basically, you need your personal information. So on every pay stub, you need personal information. So now we started with this. Let's clear this out and move this right to the bottom, or it's a little lower, and we can put in your company info and call this your personal info. Okay, and so now it's let's say ABC Co. It's on 123 Street, and it's in doesn't matter, New York. And the zip code is 12345. Okay, but it doesn't matter. And now here is your personal info. This is the employee. And this is what the taxes are going to be based on. So it's your name is Firsto Nemo, Nemo, and then you live on 987 other place drive, and you live in California because you work online or whatever. You are, influencer or entertainment, doesn't matter. The company here is somewhere else and you're here. So, okay, great. And then you put a 90210, shows you what my age is. Now, first of all, again, it doesn't look nice. So we make this bold, and then put this all center to the left. So we kind of make it look nice. Can we do that? Yeah. And same here too. Okay. And the layout here, of course, you have to kind of work on. So now your taxes are going to be based on on your state and of course the country. So federal is federal tax, and here is going to be your state tax. Okay, so to get your federal tax, you want to go to your what is the federal tax rate? Let's go 2021, make it easy. Okay, well, the quick discussion is that there is actually a bunch of different ones, and it depends on which you are. If you're single, married, filing jointly, or widower, and or head of household. So you have to kind of get these tables, and you get this from, let's see, tax brackets. We'll just do it. Okay, so here's the 3 rows, and you can kind of copy this. Oops, that's not what we wanted. Let's do it in easy. So imagine your rates are lower. So I'm not going to go to the higher, but here's your rate. So if you want to just do it for yourself, ours obviously does it for everyone. But if you just want to figure it out for yourself, it's actually not that hard. You can simply go in and find out what how much you make. So let's figure out how much you make. You said you made 1,000 per week. Okay, so that means you make $52,000 a year. So this is year to date, and is this, and then just on the side here, I'm going to put what your yearly rate is. Just for our information for later. So you don't need this on the pay stub. But so it's the let's say this is in February, or let's call it you're 8 weeks in. So you are. You've made $8,000. Actually, I'm going to make this easy as well. I can do this and make this into a, boy, there's a way of doing that, make it into a dollar. Yeah, there's right there. So now this is $1. Okay, so that makes it even prettier. Okay, so now we made $8,000 this year. So that means is you would go here, right? You figure out 8,000. No, that's wrong. You have to project it, what you will do. So you are taxed based on what the projection is. Now, of course, let's say you lose your job or you get a raise. Well, all those things change your tax rate, and you have to account for that. That's why you do your taxes in the end of the year. If it was all straight, it would be really simple. You were already taxed at $52,000 a year. You were taxed that the whole time by your company, and you had the proper amount of withholdings set. But if the things change, then you have to kind of figure it out at the end of the year. So let's say you lost your job middle of the year, so you only made $25,000. Well, you would be taxed in this range right here, even though the whole time you were being taxed at this rate. So you would get basically a 10% reduction on the half. So now that being said, you can use our calculator to figure this out, or you can do it yourself. Make it nice and easy. If we're just doing 1,000 at yearly rate is $52,000. So that is your tax rate. You figure out your tax rate here. Figure out where you fall in. So your federal tax rate is between this amount. It's 22%. Simply. So now your withholdings, federal tax, we can call it at. Let's see, call it rate again, rate. We can call this amount and year to date. Okay, and your federal tax is 0.22. and you're being taxed on 52,000. So I'm just going to use this here. So this equals this rate times what you're projected to be making at. Okay. Oops, sorry. Did I do that? I did it wrong. Equals this times this. And so that's what you're going to make. Sorry, that's what you're going to pay in taxes. And I'm going to move this over here. It's actually an incorrect number because this is your total taxes per year fed. Okay. But what's actually more accurate is what you're taxed on for this pay period. So equals this times this. And so your tax rate is $220. And at this point here, you have to do that equals, it's this times how many pay periods? Well, now you need another number. It's going to be here, this number. I'll put it here. It's going to be 0 right now. Let me just put this here. It's 8. Oops. Okay. Pay periods. Okay, so you need these numbers off to the side because this is what the calculation comes from. This is where the numbers basically come from. Now you got to do the same thing for your state. So for your state, what is tax rate? What is call it California? California tax rate for 2021. Okay. So let's see, we have the numbers. There is actually the state's range 1-3% is sales tax. That's sales tax, but state let's call it income tax rate. Okay, and you have these. Let's see, get the basic one. So let's say you're 22%. Actually, this is for California. Hold on, let me just make sure. Get these numbers correct. This is kind of what you would be doing, but so where are we? We're at 52,000, so it's 8%. Is that correct? Single married filer. This is California takes in tax brackets. Okay, so if you're between these two numbers, you make 8%. Pay 8%. So we call it 0.08, and equals this. Yes, correct. And that's 80, which makes sense. And this is your yearly, so it equals this times this many pay periods. So that's how much state tax you did. And you get a total, call this subtotal. And it equals sum of this and plus this. Okay, so that's your so the tax rate. So what you made this year total equals, so your yearly and this is what your monthly is going to be. So this is going to be equal to this minus this plus this. Okay. Sorry, I did incorrect. It's also a minus. So it's this minus this minus this, or this plus this minus that, whichever one you look at it. But you got to take away this tax and this tax to get this. So there's your $700 for taxes. This can be done per year as well. So what is your total after taxes? It's basically this number minus these two and times the pay periods. So this is where it's going to get a little confusing here. So what you want to do is, actually we have to do something separate. So subtotal here is this. And let's move this down again, away, sorry. Move these guys down out of the way, or actually really in a separate area. And this is your, so this pay period total. Make it smaller, period total. Let's call it that way. Okay, So we subtract those. So this is also, let's call this 300. Actually, I'll just do it so it works. Yes, correct. And so it figures out. So this is subtotal taxes. Tax. And period income. So period total income. And I'm going to put this to the side so it's more clear for someone. And I hope I'm not boring you here. I'm conscious of time, but we're already pushing 15 minutes. So I'm going to wrap this up. But so in essence, this is what your pay period is going to be. So equals this minus this, okay? And your yearly is going to be this minus this. And you can verify that. Actually, you could probably get rid of these because it doesn't make any sense. So total, yeah, that's okay. So now this is what you can do. Total. You can always make this bold, make it pretty, and you can kind of just print out this. So this is a basic pay stub. Now, where it gets confusing is if you have different hours, if you have different rates. What if you are a server and you get tips? What about commission? What about withholdings? Also, if you're in certain cities, there is actually more of a tax. Or what if your rates change? These are things that you have to do on this pay stub. Now, I've been doing this for about 15 years, and I've written this maybe, I can't think of how many times. If you're doing this your first time, this will take you maybe 2-3 hours to get it right. Of course, then you want to move it around, make it pretty, give it some kind of a style. Because if we present this as is there a print preview on here somewhere? Let's see here. Where do we do this? Detail. I thought there was a preview. I'm not sure on. I usually use Excel. Here, save print. Well, so this is what this looks like. It doesn't look great, and of course this wouldn't be here. But it doesn't look so professional. To make it professional, you would have to put in the borders and lines and all the details, which would take you about again 2-3 hours. The real problem where it's going to be is if you need multiple pay stubs. If you need 3 or 4 of the next pay stubs, that will be an issue for the calculation. You will have to calculate this 4 times. And for us, we charge for just one, $7. If you buy 3 or 4, it ends up being about $5. If you buy more than that, it ends up being pennies per pay stub because you randomly generate it, you create it in minutes. So yes, this video is now pushing 18 minutes, but I'll show you exactly what we did in just a few minutes. So you go to our site, paystubdirect.com. We're the best and oldest one. We have many competitors or people that are copying us, not competitors, and they really just look to us to see how to do this. So you create a pay stub, real simple. And here it is, really just choose your settings, fill in yellow boxes, preview, and then buy the credit. So here we go. This is on top. You want to click the style. You can change the style if you want. This one, this one, this one. The styles are all there and they're beautiful. So let's say we choose this one right here. So we select that. Okay, and we save it. Great. Now, right currently you are getting a pay start, the green, and the pay end, and the pay frequency is weekly. But if you want to change that, well, that's great. We can change it right here. Click on it to 2 weeks, and it calculates and it figures it out. Great. Save. So now we're looking at our stubs, and we put in information. So I put in information here, co-name, co-address, and the city. In fact, the yellow ones are helpful to fill in. Let's do that together. City, and then your state, and zip. 00009. Okay, your social security, we don't keep any of these things. You put it in as you want, and there it goes, it gets hidden. Your tax status, that's another thing that we didn't fit in, but we put that here. We didn't do that on the other one. What's your name? Your name, your address, and your city. My city's not important. The really important one is the red one. You got to choose. So let's say we choose California. There's California, okay. And there you can see the California state income tax changes. and you put in your zip code. Okay, so now you change your rate, whatever your rate we want it to be. Let's say it's 25 as before. And notice it has 80 hours because we chose, bi-weekly. It would change if you do just weekly. If you did any overtime, that's another thing we didn't touch on there. We just actually figured out a rate, but if you want to put an overtime rate, call it 35 and add 1 hour, there you go. And it adds, recalculates. If you have a holiday pay, vacation pay, any kind of bonuses you want to put on there, put that in just fine, just to keep things right. And it looks good. You want to preview it or you want to buy it? Let's preview before we buy. There you go. This is stub number 1, and this is what it looks. This is with your information on there. And you can see other stubs if you like. We only selected 3, so you can preview all 3, or you can see more. So now you can actually go just and buy this pay stub. But we have an added feature. So you want to see some more, so you just add another stub, and as you can see, it goes backwards for you. Here's a randomized check number, and here's the dates. So if you're going backwards in time, you can see that it actually does go backward in time for you. All the way back to January, or it goes back to the same year. You can preview each one. You can select them or buy the selected stubs that you want. So when you go to buy, of course, we know the buy page is quite simple, or just simply preview. Let's say you want to preview this one. That's what it looks like. And it is done. If you want to see the other ones, you can click on. Now you can preview the 5 that you selected or all 30 going back in history, because you start at the beginning of the year. So if once that's done, then you're good to go and you play. That has now taken us 2.5 minutes, and you have professional pay stubs for about 80 cents each if you buy all of them. So, or if you just want to buy just the one, $7, or buy 3 or 4, which is probably what most people need. So that's it. I will try and break this down and do if you do want to follow the series, subscribe to the channel, and I'll show you in detail how to do each step to add that. It will be probably a multiple hour series, but it's something to help you understand if you really want to know more about making pay stubs. Thanks and good luck.